Here are some versions of the car created using Stable Diffusion, an artificial intelligence model. I input one frame of the original video, and with ChatGPT I created a prompt. It's a long prompt, yes, but the results seem to get better with great philosophical explanations. Weird. Because the original image had other cars in the frame, Stable Diffusion creates all kinds of insane concepts in the secondary cars floating around. I mean, look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. Anyway, at the end I took 4 or 5 images of the concepts and mixed them together in Photoshop. I like the idea to let randomness embrace my art. That is, to not control every single detail of the image, and let go of the ego inside myself, wanting to make things in a certain way. Here I'm just taking some of the best parts from the generated images and bashing them together until I like what I see. I like the fact that the car looks unfinished, asymmetrical, and that it has parts that I would have not conceived on my own. Like the overly exaggerated amount of lights in the front of the car, or the huge blinker that it's only existing in one side. Yeah, quite happy with this. Let's bring it to... Let me go ahead and skip the part where I'm modeling the car for several days. One of the things that fascinated me from this concept is the asymmetric shape of the pop-up headlight, that is round in one side and straight on the other. But does it make sense in terms of product design? I really wanted to keep this shape, but I had to find a reason for it, especially when I wanted the lights to be the main feature of the scene. Then I realized AI was telling me how this mechanism works all along. If the lights would be completely a box, so to say, I would need to hide the pop-up lights in a different way. Maybe in a more traditional way, like we see in these examples from 80s and 90s cars. But the fact that the shape was round in one of the sides, that dictated the way the light falls in and out of the car. Doing it this way, I'm able to give functionality to the generated image and preserving its essence, plus keeping the external cable because why not? For the other pop-up light, I used a similar idea but more intricate with an extra piece that opened to release the lamp. I used one of Ian Hubert's 1-minute amazing tutorials to make an LED plate and put a fictional company name on it. Even though I'm not showing the back of the car in the final artwork, I made some basic backlights by cloning the front light panel and changing its appearance. I also put some functional doors, even though it's not necessary, but I might use this car in the future, you never know. And that's why I use DaVinci Resolve for the final effects and compositing. I'm sure Adobe will do just fine without my money for their stupid subscription model. I started by adding the original video, and on top, the raw car sequence from Blender, where the tracking of the scene was done, by the way. For putting the 3D car behind the foreground car of the scene, I used the amazing magic mask from Resolve. Just mark the subject with a loose line and it subtracts the element for you. No need for rotoscoping. Check that After Effects. The front glass was not realistic enough, so I used the original car glass and added a light reflection in the foreground car when the light is switched on. On the final adjustment layer, I added some glow for the highlights and used the analog damage effect, which is pretty awesome to achieve that 80s look.